Justice Kavanaugh?
In your opening remarks, you said the design of the First Amendment is to prevent suppression of speech, end quote. And you left out what I understand to be three key words in the First Amendment, or to describe the First Amendment, by the government. Do you agree by the government is what the First Amendment is targeting?
I do agree with that, Your Honor, but I don't agree that there is no First Amendment interest in allowing the people's representatives to promote the free exchange of ideas. This Court has recognized that as a legitimate First Amendment interest in the Turner case and all the way going back to the Associated Press case.
Well, in the Turner case, the intervention was, the Court emphasized, unrelated to the suppression of speech, the antitrust type intervention there. So I'm not sure when it's related to ensuring relative voices are balanced out, or there's fairness in the speech or balance in the speech, that is covered by Turner. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that, Your Honor. Our interest in our
law— What
did
Turner mean by unrelated to the suppression of speech?
Well, we don't view our law as advancing interests that are related to the suppression of speech. We think that the interest, for example, in protecting journalistic enterprises from being censored, from MSNBC being censored because an internet platform doesn't like a broadcast it showed on its station the other day, that is just an interest in preventing them from being silenced. It's not an equalizing interest. It's giving them a chance.
On the editorial control point, you really want to fight the idea, and I understand, that editorial control is the same thing as speech itself, and you've emphasized Pruneyard over and over again. But we have a whole other line of cases, as you're aware, of course, Hurley, PG&E, Tornillo, Turner, which emphasize editorial control as being fundamentally protected by the First Amendment. And I understood the line between Pruneyard on the one hand and those cases on the other to be whether you were involved in a speech communications business as opposed to a shopping center owner, which is the other side of the line. Can you respond to those cases?
I guess I don't dispute the general principle of editorial control. I just don't think that the social media platforms are engaged in editorial control. And again, the recruiters, the law schools, in Rumsfeld versus Fair argued that they were exercising editorial control when they booted military recruiters off campus and invoked Tornillo explicitly. And this Court had none of it. So the Court does need to draw a line, I think, between a selective speech host that is exercising editorial control and a speech host like a common carrier or like the mall in Pruneyard that can indeed be regulated in being prevented from silencing its customers.
On the selective speech host point, I think you've made the point to Justice Kagan that they don't eliminate much speech, but didn't we deal with that in Hurley as well and say that the mere fact that the parade organizer usually took almost all comers was irrelevant to the First Amendment interest in essentially editorial control over who participated in the parade?
Yeah, and I guess I think Hurley, Your Honor, really turned more on the fact that what was the activity there was a St. Patrick's Day parade with a particular expressive purpose, and so perhaps it could still be expressive and be a little bit more lenient. But I would note that this Court in Hurley did, in rejecting the conduit argument, relied on the fact that there was front-end selection of the members of the parade, that the parade committee, the committee that was responsible for it, was doing front-end selection. So I do think Hurley fits our theory, but I also think that selectivity is totally relevant to who is the speaker. And we analogize in our brief to the government speech cases, where this Court has made that exact point in a variety of cases, such as Mittal versus Tam and Shurtleff. And what you have said is that if the government is not exercising a ton of control over the speech that comes into a forum, it is not speaking, and it can't censor. That's what this Court held in Shurtleff.
Thank you.